Hey guys, happy new year and welcome to my channel. I'm super excited to be here and I'm just going to reintroduce myself. My name is Victoria and I'm a creative storyteller. Today I am going to share with you my creative process, and this just really includes how I come up with an idea and take it fully to execution. So what you're going to get is really like a fusion of my creative process as a poet and as an artist generally, and my content marketing perspective, just so you can know how to infuse creative storytelling in your own professional pursuits. So yeah, let's get it started. The first stage is immersion. I call it immersion because it just really involves you infusing yourself with your origin, and that is something that can inspire you to keep creating. Something peculiar about the creative process is that once you find what works for you, you can consistently find a rhythm that works, and you can come up with ideas intentionally time and time again. Now, if you do not have a process, you can always adapt mine. It's no problem with that. And you can, over time, develop something that works for you. This helps because sometimes you do not get inspiration and you might have creative blocks. What a process does for you is you have something that you can constantly repeat to get, similar results. So the first step in my process is an immersion. I surround myself with things that just remind me of what I want to create, or just give me like a creative intuition. Sometimes these things can be, for me, going to an art exhibition or watching a lot of videos around creativity, art, and all that sort. But for you, it might look like something different. Whatever space you're interested in and whatever gives you that creative surge. Now, finding a way to infuse this in content marketing or communications would look like research. When you're researching, you surround yourself with documents, materials, basically things that just give you like an idea of what you want to market, or story you want to tell, or even competitors' data, and just trying to find a fusion between what you already have as a marketing professional based on your company's data, and also what is on the outside that you can use as a source of inspiration. So first thing on my list will be an immersion, and for a communications executive would look like research. Second thing on my list will be cultivation, and that would look like trying to find where you can sow a seed in whatever space you're in. For me, that would look like maybe a particular art piece that is very thrilling, and I feel like has a communication that I can expand into a poem. Or that might look like a video that I find very thrilling and I can reinterpret into another, art form. And for you, it might look like, cultivating an idea that you've had in your head before, but because you found a similar inspiration, you can start developing on that. For communications and media purposes, that would look like ideation, and that's the phase where you already found something that you can use to build on. For that, it can look like maybe you've been researching on selling a particular product and you found an idea that stands out, or a loophole that a competitor did not really think about. So at that phase, you are open to several ideas, several intuitions, several things. So be careful not to kill one idea because you think it doesn't work fine. One thing I'll advise at this phase is that you just keep them coming, like whatever ideas you have, whatever big stuff, big move, or eureka moment, just keep writing them down and keep taking notes of them, because it's very, very essential for the next phase, which kind of like diffuses and like distills the ones that are very sustainable, or the ones that you can later interpret into the final stage, the final act. So yeah, keep your ideas coming. Do not cancel out everything. Just at this phase, be as patient with your mind as possible. So we're down to the third phase, which is the connection, and that's where you then get to connect what you're creating, or the ideas that you have, with what you always had in mind or what your heart kind of seems like. So that might look like you've had several ideas, but which one do you believe that would connect to your audience more appropriately? And which one would you believe that will tell your story in a much more genuine way? And so that would look like just really singling out some things that work and some things that don't work. Doesn't mean that you should throw away the other ideas that cannot make it to this next phase, but it means that you should focus more energy on these particular ideas that can be sellable to the audience that you're trying to pitch it to. And for the communications aspect, that might look like strategy. And so what strategy does is it kind of also makes you connect much more to the audience and know what they want particularly, and develop a communications material around what your client is expecting, what your audience wants, and what can connect the both of them together. So what you would do at this phase is distill and narrow down your communications or your creative piece to whatever space works for who you're trying to communicate it to. And the last phase, which is the experiment. For me, I call it the experiment because sometimes whatever creative output you send out doesn't really get the kind of results you want, or might not connect to your audience in the way that you imagine it should. So I call it experiment because now you're confident enough to sell out that idea and help people find connection to it. For me, at that phase for communications, it will look like execution. So what execution does is that your strategy, your ideas, how you're pushing it out to the public to see, and you're giving it to somebody that can interpret it in a particular way. So let's say you've come up with several copies, several materials for development. This would look like you giving it to the designer to make that come to life, or to the video editor to make that come to life. And this would also include the phase where you then push it out to the public after interpretation from the video editor or the designer. This phase is very, very large because there's a lot of emotions that you go through in this phase, especially from a creative side. You are pushing your work out, but sometimes you take extra work to put your work out, and it also looks like what your audience might also want to see afterwards. So yes, you've gotten the creative material, you've gotten creative output. How do they then interpret it, and how do you perceive it, whilst it's going out to the public? So this phase is very, very, sensitive, but I always advise artists and creative to really, really just not invest so much on this phase, because you get very torn down, very emotional, and if you don't get the results you're expecting, you get heartbroken. So yeah, this phase is a very, very stressful phase. I hope that these 4 stages can help you get like a process towards your creative art. I know that this is very expansive, but I hope that these tips can help you section them out and also kind of interpret it in a way that won't be very hard to repeat. So yeah, if you found this video very helpful, please let me know in the comment section and subscribe. Thank you.